Alright, so I don't make these videos often. I mean, y'all can look at my channel and just tell. Um, and excuse me if I kind of overlap my words and my sentences or whatnot. But in the past 30 minutes, I've just had the worst experience of top tier sim of probably my whole life. I've only been playing simulator for maybe about 2 years now, maybe about a year and a half, 2 years. But the fact that simulator is just not getting any better after all this time. Now, it's kind of ridiculous in a sense. You know, like I don't usually make videos about me ranting about different video games and stuff like that, but the fact that this game has a gray area between me really appreciating the gameplay and what it can be, the potential of this game mode versus what it's actually playing out to be. It's becoming very apparent to me that the gameplay of Sim really reflects what the players do, right? Um, and I'm gonna jump down this whole rabbit hole in a second. But you can look at this gameplay that I have right here. This is the gameplay that I'm talking about in the past 30 minutes that I experienced. Now, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of context. In this game that I was playing, obviously you can see we're playing Denmark, right? So essentially in this gameplay, it started out as a 5v7, and then within I want to say 20 to 30 minutes, my teams got smacked so hard that they just kept leaving one by one, and so eventually it got to a point to where it turned from a 5v7 to like a 1v6 or like a 1v5, and I was the only one in the lobby on my team. That's kind of what I mean. Like, if for me to be the only one in my lobby, right? And for this Rafale and this Eurofighter to just be constantly spawn camping me, even though that I am by myself. You know what I mean? I just kind of find it ridiculous. I have no help. I have no early warning radar. I have no AWACS or anything. They're just flying towards in my spawn, shooting missiles at me and turning around. Now this Rafale right here, you can see that he tried to spawn camp me, and I notched his missiles, and I eventually got on his six, and he started running away. Now, as he started running away, I killed him, but he turned around and killed me because he's in a fucking Rafale. So I can't do much about that, but just take it up the ass, right? So with that being said, he killed me. Okay, I spawn back in, and you're gonna see right here that he's gonna take off. Let's give it a second right here. Whenever I die, you're gonna see him taking off right here. Here, look at him taking off. And so I spawn back in, and as I spawn back in, what he does, we pretty much do the same thing. He shoots his missiles at me. I notch all of his missiles. He's defensive. I get on his 6 o'clock, and he starts running away from me. Now, as he's running away from me, guess what happens? Right? As he's running away from me, he crashes into the ground. Okay? Now, the other guy, the Eurofighter, you can see I'm down 90k right now. I'm down 90k. The other guy, the Rafale, excuse me, not Rafale, the Eurofighter, okay, after I killed him, the Rafale, or after he crashed, the Eurofighter, he started following me and back to my base, and he was spawn camping me at my base. So I was using the Rolands to see if I could kill him with the Rolands. I end up killing him with the Rolands, and excuse me if I'm yelling, but I end up killing him with the Rolands, and I end up just going in chat talking shit like, hey man, you don't got no skill, like y'all are over here, you know, pretty much just telling them the same thing that I'm telling y'all right now. So there it is. So in this point in the game, you're forced to bring a PvP loadout, simply because you're trying to compensate for everybody that's leaving on your team. Everybody that's leaving because they're getting slammed or they're getting constantly spawn camped or whatnot. They're leaving, so you're forced to bring a air-to-air loadout. You can't do a multi-role loadout because why would you want to bring missiles, Mavericks, or bombs with you, and they're practically in your spawn? Like, So what I'm trying to say is, you are, imagine you're taking off at 300 miles an hour. You know what I mean? And you're immediately getting spiked, like right in front of you, maybe like fucking, maybe like 3-4 miles away from you. Maybe let's just say 10 miles away from you, just to be nice, right? So he's within ACM range, right? So he's within 10 miles away from you. You're taking off um um 300 miles an hour, and he's that close to you. What are you supposed? You're not even really going fast enough to shoot a missile at him. I mean, he's probably going to hit, but like it'll be better if you were going faster. That way, your missile have a better chance of hitting. You know what I mean? But because because we're forced to like bring a full air-to-air loadout, that's what constantly promotes the same gameplay loop of just doing or just prioritizing PvP. That's what it is. It's people, it's the players constantly abusing the meta for their own good, whenever it really shouldn't even be like that in the first place. That's kind of my point. Is like, as long as everybody constantly is going to spawn camp people, you know what I mean, and prioritize PvP, we're going to have the same gameplay loop, because it's not going to be broken unless we the ones that are going to break it. You know what I mean? It's pretty apparent that Gaijin is mission creeping or drip feeding their content, uh, so they can prolong their lifespan of their game. That's obvious. You know what I mean? So we have to take that in consideration as players. All right. So pretty much what I was trying to say originally is that this should not be that easy for any given player to go across to the other side of the battlefield and just spawn camp somebody. Okay, because you can see in the gameplay here that as I was landing, I landed touchdown, and I knew that there was a Eurofighter behind me, so I was trying to pretty much taxi my way into cover, so that way he doesn't shoot like a radar missile at me. But excuse me, I couldn't make it in time, and he shot me with a 9M, and a 9M is a IR guided missile, and it uh, you have to pretty much shoot those within 5 miles. If you don't shoot it within 5 miles, it loses energy, and it just explodes if it doesn't track anything. So or it just hits the ground. So that's kind of my point. Is like he got so close to my airfield within 5 miles to score a kill on me with an IR missile, right? That's, in my opinion, is ridiculous, right? All right. So another thing is there's so many different elements in sim, that most of these like machines and these fighter jets, they didn't operate without these different elements in real life. They just didn't, you know. Um, but there's so many missing mechanics that they can add to the game, but for whatever reason they don't. Uh, but they probably don't do it just simply because they're still trying to cater to the new players of realistic battles, which is not a bad thing. By any means, it's not a bad thing. But whenever this game is so accessible already, you know, it's not an easy game to understand and get into, like jump into. But for somebody that's committed to playing War Thunder, it's pretty much common sense. You know what I mean? You just gotta take a little bit of thinking power, right? But whenever this game is already accessible, you have to ask yourself, is Sim, the game mode Sim in War Thunder, is it really worth it? Is it really worth playing whenever we have these issues and this lackluster gameplay? You know, um, it, it it seems like, like 1, 2, 3, but like you gotta look at it from all angles here, from the player's perspective, the dev's perspective, even investors, in some cases. But you just have to be, again, open-minded and that's with everything. But just be open-minded to what this game could be. You know what I mean? The real potential of Sim, or the real potential of the World War game mode. Hell, the real potential of RB. You know what I mean? That's a very important thing to look at, right? That's how I started off playing War Thunder, was playing realistic battles, ground RB. So All right, so imagine this. You know, you got S-75 on the outskirts of each airfield. You got SAM systems better than the Rolands on the airbase at top tier. If we're talking about SIM here, you have EWR, which is early warning radar. You have aerial refueling tankers. You have AWACS. You have individual damage modules for the bases instead of just bombing randomly and shit like that. You have MLRSs slash HIMARS, like artillery sites behind each ground battle, right? Let me tell you what this would do, right? AWACS would limit team killing for one, you know, besides it giving you data link, the possibility of buddy lasing and all that fun stuff. It would be harder for players to spawn camp you. It would encourage players to prioritize PvP or PvE mechanics to win the game instead of just trying to just bleed tickets through making people leave the game. It will make for more dynamic gameplay. But beyond that, man, if Sim is not fixed, the player base is just going to drop. That's just simply what's going to happen. Because War Thunder's game mode is advertised as simulator, okay? And this is a direct competitor to DCS, Digital Combat Simulator. And I know that War Thunder Sim scratches that itch for a lot of players, but even pilots too. A lot of pilots, not necessarily like fighter pilots, probably fighter pilots, but a lot of pilots in general, they enjoy playing War Thunder Simulator. Know that for a fact, okay? And just to kind of wrap everything up, bro, I just solely just don't believe in Roland should be at top tier Sim. Like, to me, that's proof that Gaijin is just a little bit just not using their creativity, you know, to their fullest extent. Because the fact that you just don't want to do anything about it took them so long to add like Rollins and actual good AAs to Sim in the first place. Like, this has been like 6 years ago. Whenever people were playing Sim and they had this issue, they finally added fucking AAs to Sim, and guess what? They're still shit. We still having issues. You know, we need something better at top tier. The higher you keep increasing these BRs, 13-0, 14-0, 15-0, 16-0, 17-0, 18-0, you keep increasing these damn BRs. But yet you're not really giving us anything to hold on to after we, you know, get through it. After we finish like 10-0, we move on from 10-0 to 11-0, from 11-0 to 12-0. Yet we still seeing the same stuff in the game, the same AA systems that you have to go strike, the same battles, the same convoys. It's old. It's not creative. That's what we need for this game to survive, man. And I'm just beginning to grow more and more impatient the longer this shit keeps getting drawn out. So I wish this game the best, man. To model in the game, you know, this is something with a simple function. All it has to do is just alert you whenever there is somebody or a bandit crossing over into your territory, into your airspace. That's all it does. That's all the early warning radar does. And then whenever you incorporate a AWACS into that, whenever you incorporate an AWACS into that same gameplay, you are incorporating data link. You are incorporating more missing information and more context that you need in your battle space, right? In your battle space. But all of that is missing in simulator. All of the early warning radars, the AWACS information, it's all missing. It's all missing context and information, right? The only thing that has that kind of like information or context is the Rafale and the A10, the A10C, because they have the HMD where you can see, you know, the data link between, you know, your ground assets, your friendly ground assets, and your friendly fighters, right? That's kind of what I mean, right? So it's already in the game to an extent. It's just not fully modeled in the way that we need it to be modeled in the game. Because if they add AWACS into the game, well, guess what? Now that gives people, that gives other players something else to do other than doing PvP all the damn time, right? If you add early warning radars in the game, well, that encourages people, that encourages players to go strike those early warning radars before they cross over to your airspace, right? It gives you, it makes the game more dynamic. You know what I mean? It's not just a dry, bland furball fight or missile fight that you're getting into, or like a BVR fight. It's not just that. It becomes more dynamic. You know what I mean? It's more that goes into a BVR fight other than slinging missiles at the other guy on the other side of the field, right? So that's kind of what I mean. That's kind of my point. And that's not all, right? Those are just two simple fixes that they can put in the game that is very easily modeled, or can be very easily modeled in the game, because it's essentially already modeled in the game, right? We already have data link, all right? We already have pointless fucking planes like bots that spawn in and take off and crash on our airfield for no fucking reason. We already have that, right? So why not just make them actually have, or actually play a role in the game, right? That's kind of what I mean. Another fix that I've come up with is the S-75s. We already had a game mode not too long ago that incorporated the S-75 and us doing some kind of, or us doing a form of seed, right? Now, it was more or less deed instead of seed, right? And if y'all don't know, seed is suppression of enemy air defenses, and deed is destruction of enemy air defenses, right? So, you have to really look at these things and be like, well, okay, we already have this in the game, we already have that mechanic in the game, so why won't they just add this in the game to make it more dynamic, make it a little bit more interesting, make it more unique in terms of the gameplay loop, because that's really what matters. Now, the gameplay loop is 50-50. It's 50% of the players, and it's 50% of the devs and the people who actually put the content in the game, okay? Now, the reason why I say it's 50% of the players is because we are ultimately the ones that actually create the meta. We're the ones that create the most effective tactic available, right? We're the ones that's going to use this content and abuse this content for our own good. Now, again, I'm one to believe and to think that spawn camping should be in the game. Spawn camping should be in the game, especially in the game mode like Air Simulator, right? Now, my point is, it should never be as easy as it is today for them to just come across your airfield, or come across your in your battle space, your airspace, just solely to strike you taking off, or just solely to do a long range strike on your airfield. It should not be that easy for people to do that, right? But that's what they do. That's what people are like, simulator players. They ultimately they just give in to that gameplay loop, because they can ultimately just do that. That's how they grind. That's how they get their kills and their points, by doing that, right? I just totally disagree on how easy it is for them to do that, because I'm not one to just spawn in and be like, okay, I'm going to go to their airfield and just spawn camp them. That's not the first thing that goes through my mind. Whenever I'm playing simulator, whenever I play sim, I literally want to just do ground striking. Like, I literally just want to go find me a base, or a convoy, or a battle, or something to go strike, right? But all of that stuff is very underwhelming. It's underwhelming gameplay. It's not dynamic. It's not forcing you to do anything else other than to shoot your missile and turn around and go back to base, right? That's the issue. That's ultimately the issue. And so I just feel like it something needs to change for sim to actually be worthwhile, for sim to actually be worth people's time now, you know? Because I look at a game like DCS and I see them, asking, hey man, like let's, we're gonna put this full fidelity model of the F-15 out, but you have to pay like $80 for this shit. Okay, in my eyes, that F-15 is more valuable, or it might be it's more worth my time than what War Thunder is putting out, because they're not even putting out full fucking fidelity. They're not even putting out full fidelity game or flight models. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I mean. It's like War Thunder is not really worth people's time now. It's starting to become more apparent to me that that's the case. Now, again, another fix that I was saying about the S-75s is they can literally take those S-70 simply because they are neglecting simulator. Like the last updates that they gave the sim was some MFD updates. And let's be honest here. Not a lot of people even know about the MFD, like the MFDs. They don't even know that you can change those things. So it's like, bro, it's kind of pointless to an extent whenever we don't have shit that actually matters. That would actually make these MFDs matter more. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have data link to where we can look at our fucking MFD and be like, oh yeah, there's a guy right there that I don't see on my radar. We don't have that. Not every aircraft has that, even though in real life they didn't operate without this kind of stuff. Like, in real life, the F-18s did not operate without an AWACS. They didn't. In real life, the flankers and all the SU-30s and the SU in the flanker series, they didn't operate without being in their own SAM bubble. They didn't. That's just not something they did, right? And they still don't do that. It's in their doctrine. They don't do that shit. And so, and I'm not saying that War Thunder should be like super, like ultra realistic and all that, because War Thunder, at the end of the day, it's a game. It would never, ever be like the most realistic fucking thing ever. It won't. But the fact that you have a game mode like simulator, but you refuse to improve the gameplay or change the gameplay loop, it's ridiculous to me. You have passionate players in this game mode that actually love they actually love different moments in War Thunder and Sim, to be specific, but all of those moments get shot down and get watered down by all of the other bullshit in the fucking game. Right? That's really all I have to say. And I'm just saying all of this simply because I literally had one of the worst experiences of simulator in my 2 years of playing simulator. Like, I do not want to die on my fucking runway after I've just done a fucking a whole sortie and I made it back to my base safely. I don't want to fucking die to an AIM-9M within 5 miles of me fucking landing. I don't. Who the fuck wants to die right after they land, and they know that somebody's behind them? They're relying on their airfield AA to kill the guy that's chasing them, and then ultimately I die to a 9M from fucking 4 miles away, and then all he has to do is just fucking turn around, chaff a little bit, and go low, and then now he's defeated the Rollins that's at my airfield. That's fucking ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Rollins are probably the shittiest fucking AA that has to be like in War Thunder. Like, they're not good, and they should not be the best thing. They should not be the should not be the best thing at the airfield. They should not be the best AA at our airfields. It just shouldn't. Because if it's not the Rollins, we have some Gepards, we have some Sidams. That is fucking stupid as fuck. Who in their right mind was like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna give them Rollins and Gepards at their airfields and they'll be okay. You're a fucking retard. Whoever made that final decision to just finalize that right there is stupid as shit. Because whenever you have shit like the ADATs or the Panzer in the game, yet you don't want to put that in the game. or you don't. I mean, excuse me. You don't want to put that. Yeah, you don't want to put the Panzer or the ADATs on the airfields. You just want to leave that up to the Rolands. That's it. It's just ridiculous. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's almost like they want you. They literally want you to suffer. And if Gaijin wants us to suffer, they need to lose players, bro. And they want me to fucking suffer in a game mode that I'm spending money on, like my hard-earned money on this game, bro. That's beyond my like comprehension of like justice and judgment, right? And before I get too biblical or whatnot, bro, I'm just going to just leave it like that, because I really do love this game, right? And I hesitated there for a reason, but I do love this game. I really do. But at this point in time, I only love certain moments of this game, right? And I just want to say that right now, because I probably would never make another video like this again. I don't ever make videos like this about War Thunder. I make videos like on War Thunder, but like if y'all don't know, if y'all new to the channel, I literally make videos solely to archive my footage of everything that I do that I think that I might enjoy looking back on, right? I make videos for me to look back on, but this specific video that I'm making right now is literally to get my point across and get my message out there about Simulator. Because at this point in time, Simulator is trash. It's the same gameplay loop, and it's been the same gameplay loop for the longest time now, right? The only like hardcore changes that I've actually noticed is just it's just visuals, right? It's just visuals. Other than that, the only changes have been the fucking content that they put in the game, like the fucking missiles or actually top tier fucking planes and jets. That's the only like major differences or major like content or changes they put into Sim. Other than that, bro, I'll just take my happy ass and play fucking 9-7. I'll take my happy ass and play fucking 10-3. You know what I mean? That's probably even more fucking cancer, but at least I can fucking bomb at that BR. I can barely make it across my fucking airfield without getting shot at by somebody fucking spawn camping me in top tier. My teammates, if y'all don't know, I play Blue 4. I play America. So my teammates, they're not the greatest. And so right now we're experiencing all this R77-1 spam. And whenever we experience all this bullshit, it begins to become very tired and or not tired. It begins to be very tiresome whenever you just spamming missiles back and forth because you're forced to. Even though you don't want to. That's not what I want to do in the game. I want to just do ground strike. Probably all of the sorties that I've flown, I've always had bombs or missiles to go strike the ground or to go strike ground targets. I've always had that. You know what I mean? Like there's times where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do PvP. I'm gonna go fly. I'm gonna go fly combat air patrol over here at this grid zone, right? There's times where I've said that, but those times I wasn't being pressured by fucking people in my spawn. Those times I'm literally just doing combat. I'm not completely offensive on anybody. I'm literally just pretty much just defending myself. I'm just doing a patrol, a combat air patrol. And if somebody gets close to me, right? If somebody gets close to me, and I see them getting closer and closer on my RWR, then I have every fucking right to shoot them down, right? But solely majority of my sorties, I always have bombs or I always have Mavericks. So it's like everybody else, they just like slinging missiles back and forth, and it's like that because they give in to the same gameplay loop. They just give in. Another thing, now that I just seen it, another thing that these changes that I just mentioned would do is it would help a lot with TKing. It would help a lot with IFF, right? because now you have data link, you have early warning radars, you have AWACS, and all that is going to give you missing information, missing context. It's going to be like, hey, you got a friendly in this area, or you got a friendly F-15 doing a strike sortie, on in this sector or this grid zone. So it would actually reduce team killing, right? These changes, if you have early warning radar, AWACS, and all the above, that's what these changes would do. It seems like a no-brainer to me. All of these changes seem like a no-brainer, but for some reason, War Thunder, Gaijin, just wants to keep drip feeding and mission creeping their way to a point where DCS could potentially be at, because DCS is literally they're focused on dynamic campaign. They're focused on their whole dynamic campaign, and I applaud that. I applaud DCS for that. That's why I think DCS is worth your money versus War Thunder, because War Thunder is they're asking for the same, they're charging the same fucking prices as DCS, but their fucking flight models are not even fully modeled. That's ridiculous. Yet they're asking for $80 premiums. Next you're gonna see $90 premiums. You know what I'm saying? F-22s and F-35s and shit. It's ridiculous. And before it gets to that point, I want to put my opinion out there before it actually gets to that point, because I can already foresee Gaijin putting some kind of F-35 variant in the game for fucking Britain, Israel, probably America, Germany, who you name it. You know what I mean? They're probably gonna put the SU-57s and the SU-75 Checkmate or whatever. All of these fucking vehicles in the game. And I'm not saying all of them are gonna be premiums, but I'm just saying that's something Gaijin would do. Is they would literally charge you $90 upwards to $100 damn dollars for content like that. Even though it's not fully fucking modeled, even though half of that shit is classified, they still gonna put it in the game and charge you $100 fucking dollars for that shit. And it's ridiculous. I just want to make that a known fact before it actually becomes a known fucking fact. That's what I'm trying to do. This whole simulator map pool and gameplay pool is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you ask me, a map like Golan Heights should be in fucking simulator. Just make the map bigger. Just make it bigger. That's all you have to do. Is just expand the map a little bit. And that's it. That's simply, that's like they can add a plethora of different mechanics and different things in the game that could actually be very, very healthy for the game. Like, for example, longer matches. Less players in the match, bigger maps, shit like that. You know what I mean? There's a plethora of different shit that they can do to simulator specifically, but they just don't do that. Anyways, guys, I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm sorry for going on a long ass rant about this whole thing. Like I said before, I probably would never make a video like this again, but I want y'all to enjoy this gameplay of the Swiss guns that I was using in. I was using the Swiss guns in Call of Duty Warfare. I was using it in Battlefield 5, and I believe in also in Insurgency Sandstorm. So just enjoy the gameplay of all three of those games, and let me know how y'all feel about this topic in the comments, because in my opinion, bro, this is getting ridiculous, and I want to let it be known